My sister slapped me so hard my ears rang. You selfish bitch, Lauren hissed, her face twisted with rage. We need you to watch the kids for 10 days. You owe us. Behind her, Mom sipped her coffee and laughed. Come on, Jean, don't be difficult. Family helps family. I touched my burning cheek, tasted blood where my teeth cut my lip. 10 days. Hawaii. Without me, naturally. While I funded their lives, something inside me finally snapped. I walked to my car without a word. They had no idea what was coming. The drive home felt like moving through water. My hands shook on the steering wheel, and every time I touched my face, pain shot through my jaw. I could still hear Mom's laugh echoing in my head. That casual dismissal of my sister's violence. Like it was nothing. Like I was nothing. My phone started buzzing before I even made it to my apartment. Text after text from Lauren lit up the screen on my passenger seat. I didn't need to read them to know what they said. The same thing they always said, that I was overreacting, that I was being dramatic, that family sticks together. I parked in my building's garage and sat there for a moment, staring at nothing. 32 years old, a senior project manager at a respected tech company, making good money, living in a nice apartment, and still letting my family treat me like a doormat. When I finally went inside, I poured myself a glass of wine with hands that wouldn't stop trembling. Then I opened my laptop. It was time to see exactly how much I'd been giving them. The banking portal loaded slowly, or maybe time had just stretched out weird. When the numbers appeared, I felt sick. $3,200 every single month, for 4 years. I'd been paying Mom's mortgage. $1,500 a month. I'd been making Lauren's car payment. $450 a month. I'd been contributing to my niece's and nephew's private school tuition. $1,250 a month. And there were other things too. Emergency money here, a new refrigerator there, Lauren's dental work, Derek's gym membership that he needed for work, apparently. $153,000 over 4 years, gone. I opened another browser tab and logged into my credit card account. That's when I saw it. Paradise Resort Hawaii, $6,200, posted yesterday. Yesterday, before Lauren even asked me, before the slap, before any of it. My vision went fuzzy at the edges. I called the credit card company, my voice barely steady. Yes, ma'am, that charge is legitimate, the customer service representative said. It was made by Lauren Westbrook, who's an authorized user on your account. When did she become an authorized user? Let me check. Looks like 3 years ago, in April. I remembered. Lauren had called crying about an emergency. She needed to rent a car because hers had broken down, and she had to get to a job interview. Could I add her to my card just this once? Just until she got back on her feet? 3 years ago? I want to remove her as an authorized user. Right now. I can help you with that. Give me just a moment. While I waited, my phone rang. Lauren. I put it on speaker. About time, you answered. Listen, we leave Thursday, so we'll drop the kids at your place Wednesday night. Tyler has a peanut allergy. You remember that, right? And Madison needs her special blanket or she won't sleep. Emma's been having nightmares, so she might wake up a lot. Oh, and Derek and I need you to take them to school Friday morning because our flight leaves early and… I saw the charge, I said quietly. Silence on the other end. Then, what charge? $6,200. Paradise Resort Hawaii. You already booked it, before asking me. More silence. Then Lauren laughed. That same dismissive laugh Mom had made. Well, yeah. We knew you'd say yes eventually. You always do. Something cold settled in my chest. No. Jean, I'm removing you as an authorized user. I'm canceling the payment to Mom's mortgage. I'm stopping the car payment, all of it. Done. You can't do that. We have plans. The kids are excited. Mom needs… I hung up. The customer service representative came back on the line. Okay, ma'am. I've removed Lauren Westbrook from your account. Is there anything else I can help you with today? Yes. I want to dispute that Hawaii charge. I never authorized it. I'll start a dispute claim for you. It can take up to 60 days to resolve, but the charge will be frozen during the investigation. After I finished with the credit card company, I called Mom's mortgage lender. Canceled the automatic payment. Then Lauren's car loan company. Stopped that payment too. Then I logged into the account where I'd been depositing money for the kids' tuition and closed it, transferring everything back to my main account. In 1 hour, I'd cut off every cent. My phone was going insane. Calls, texts, voicemails. I blocked Lauren's number, then Derek's, then Mom's. The silence that followed felt strange. Like standing in the eye of a hurricane, knowing the other side was coming. I opened my email to distract myself. There was a message from Lauren from 2 weeks ago. Subject line, Hawaii itinerary, thanks sis. I opened it. A full itinerary. Flights, hotel, restaurant reservations, couples massage at the spa, sunset dinner cruise, all for Lauren and Derek. No kids mentioned. They'd planned to dump the children on me and have a romantic vacation. And they just assumed I'd do it. At 11 that night, my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole and saw Derek standing there, face red with anger. "We know you're in there," he shouted, loud enough that I heard it clearly through the door. "This is bullshit, Jean. You can't just cut us off." Lights started flipping on in my neighbors' apartments. I stayed completely still, barely breathing. Derek pounded on the door, the sound echoing through the hallway. "You're being a selfish bitch, just like Lauren said. We needed that money. We have bills. We have kids." A door opened somewhere down the hall. "Hey, people are trying to sleep. Mind your own business," Derek yelled back. More pounding. My door actually rattled in its frame. I grabbed my phone, ready to call 911 if he tried to break in. After 5 more minutes of pounding and shouting, he finally left. I heard his footsteps stomping down the hallway, the stairwell door slamming. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound made me jump. Every shadow looked like someone at my window, even though I was on the 4th floor. By Monday morning, I was exhausted and wired at the same time. I got to work early, hoping the familiar routine would calm my nerves. At 9, I had a meeting with my boss Patricia and 3 executives to discuss a major project timeline. We were 20 minutes into the presentation when my assistant knocked on the conference room door. Her face was pale, panicked. She pointed behind her frantically. The door burst open. Lauren stormed in, carrying 4-year-old Emma on her hip. Tyler and Madison trailed behind her, all 3 kids crying. "There you are," Lauren shouted. The executives all turned to stare. Patricia stood up, her face shocked. "Look at your aunt, kids. Look at the woman who's making us homeless." Emma wailed louder. Madison clung to Lauren's leg. Tyler stood there with tears streaming down his face, looking confused and scared. "Excuse me," Patricia said firmly. "You can't be in here. This is a private meeting." "Private? She's my sister. She promised to help us, and now she's taking everything away." Lauren's voice broke into sobs that sounded practiced, theatrical. "We're going to lose our car. The kids will have to leave their school. We trusted her." My face burned. All 3 executives were staring at me with expressions ranging from confusion to disgust. Gerald, the CFO, looked particularly disturbed. "Lauren, leave, now." I stood up, trying to keep my voice level. "We have nowhere to go. Mom's getting foreclosure notices." That stopped me cold. "What?" "Mom's 3 months behind on the mortgage. She was counting on your payment this week to catch up. You're going to make your own mother homeless? Your own mother?" Patricia moved around the table and gently but firmly took Lauren's arm. "Ma'am, I need you to leave right now, or I'll call security." Lauren allowed herself to be escorted out, still crying, the kids still wailing. As they disappeared down the hallway, I could hear her voice carrying back. "She doesn't care about family. She only cares about herself." The conference room was silent. I sat back down, my whole body shaking. "Let's take a 15-minute break," Patricia said quietly. The executives filed out. I heard them murmuring in the hallway. Patricia came back in alone and closed the door. "What was that about?" I explained as calmly as I could. The years of financial support, the Hawaii trip booked without asking, the slap, my decision to finally say no. Patricia listened, her expression sympathetic but troubled. I understand. Family situations can be incredibly difficult. But Jean, this can't happen again. We have clients in and out of this office constantly. Today's incident was deeply concerning. It won't happen again, I said. I promise. But even as I said it, I wasn't sure I could keep that promise. The rest of the day dragged by. I couldn't focus. Couldn't think about anything except what Lauren had said about Mom's foreclosure notices. At lunch, I locked myself in my office and checked my personal email. There were 12 messages from Mom's mortgage company, all marked urgent. I opened them with shaking hands. Pre-foreclosure proceedings had begun. The house was 93 days past due. The bank sale date was set for 6 weeks from today. My phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. I should have let it go to voicemail. Instead, I answered, "Jeannie, thank God." Mom's voice was thick with tears. "How could you do this to me? Mom, I raised you, I fed you, I clothed you, I gave you everything. And now you're letting me lose my home? The home your father and I bought together?" You laughed when Lauren slapped me. "That was just sisters being sisters. You've always been too sensitive." "But this is cruel, Jean. This is evil. I'll be on the street. You could get a job. You're only 58. Lauren could get a job. Derek could work full-time instead of part-time. We can't afford this house on regular jobs. You know that. You've known that for years. Then sell it, downsize, get something you can actually afford." "This is my home," Mom's voice went shrill, hysterical. "Your father and I bought this house 30 years ago. We raised you in this house. How dare you tell me to sell it? How dare you?" Dad had died 6 years ago. Heart attack at 57. His life insurance had paid off half the mortgage. Then Mom refinanced 6 months later to help Lauren through a rough patch. That rough patch had never ended. "I'm sorry, Mom, but I can't keep doing this. You'll regret this. Family is everything, Jean. Everything. And you're throwing us away like garbage. You're going to end up alone. Completely alone. And you'll have no one to blame but yourself." She hung up. I sat there staring at my phone, feeling numb. That evening, I walked out to the parking garage after work. The moment I saw my car, my stomach dropped. All 4 tires were slashed, completely flat, and down the driver's side, keyed deep into the paint. Selfish. I called building security. They pulled up the footage. There was Derek, clear as day, slashing my tires at 2:15 that afternoon, keying my car, looking directly at the camera at one point, like he didn't care if he got caught. The police officer who came to take the report looked bored. "You can file for a restraining order if you want, but property damage like this, unless it's over $5,000, it's not going to be a priority. He came to my apartment last night and threatened me. Now he's destroyed my car." "Did he threaten you physically?" "He was pounding on my door, screaming. But no specific threats of physical harm?" "No." The officer closed his notepad. "File for a restraining order. Document everything. That's my advice. $2,300 to replace all 4 tires and repaint the door. My insurance would cover some of it, minus the deductible." I called a car service to get home. Sat in the back seat and tried not to cry. This was just the beginning. I could feel it. By Tuesday evening, I'd almost convinced myself things couldn't get worse. Then I opened social media. Lauren's post had been shared 832 times. In the video, she sat on a couch with Tyler, Madison, and Emma clustered around her. All of them looked sad. Lauren's eyes were red and puffy. "I never thought I'd have to make this video," she began, her voice trembling. "But I need people to know the truth about my sister Jean. For years, she helped our family. She helped my mom with the mortgage. She helped us with our car payments and the kids' school. We were so grateful. We thought she did it because she loved us." Emma started crying on cue. Lauren pulled her closer. "But now she's decided we're not worth it anymore." Just like that. She cut us off completely. "My mom has severe arthritis and can't work. My husband works 3 jobs, but it's barely enough. Jean makes over 6 figures. She has more money than she knows what to do with. But she decided her designer handbags and expensive vacations are more important than family. Tyler wiped his eyes. Madison looked at the camera with such sadness it made my chest hurt, even though I knew it was staged. Mom is facing foreclosure. We might lose our car. The kids might have to leave the only school they've ever known, leave all their friends, all because Jean decided we weren't worth her time anymore. Lauren broke down sobbing. The video ended. The comments were vicious. Your sister is absolute trash. What kind of monster abandons their own family? I hope karma destroys her. She deserves to rot alone. Someone had found my LinkedIn profile. They were posting links to the video on my company page, tagging me, tagging Patricia. I felt sick. I wanted to respond, to defend myself, to tell the truth. But I knew it would only make things worse. Anything I said would sound defensive, selfish, cold. Wednesday morning, Patricia called me into her office again. HR was there. My stomach sank. Jean, I know this situation is difficult, Patricia began, but this social media campaign is affecting the company. Several clients have reached out asking questions. We need this to stop. I'm not the one posting anything. I understand, but it's still affecting our reputation. Can you handle this? Can you make it stop? I don't know how to make her stop lying. Patricia and the HR rep exchanged glances. Maybe you could reconcile with your family, the HR rep suggested gently. Sometimes a conversation can resolve these misunderstandings. Misunderstandings. As if Lauren slapping me was a misunderstanding. As if years of financial exploitation was a misunderstanding. I'll handle it, I said. At lunch, my coworker Amanda cornered me in the break room. We'd been friendly for 2 years. Not close friends, but friendly enough. Is it true, she asked quietly, about your mom being disabled? My mom is perfectly healthy. Amanda's face showed doubt. Your sister said she has severe arthritis, that she can't work. My mom has never had arthritis. She just doesn't want to work. Why would your sister lie about something like that? I didn't have a good answer. Not one that wouldn't make me sound paranoid or cruel. Look, it's complicated, I said finally. It just seems really harsh, you know? Cutting off your whole family like that. Over what, a fight? She slapped me. Amanda's eyebrows went up. Like, actually slapped you? Hard enough to cut my lip. Oh. Amanda looked uncomfortable. Still, family is family. Maybe you both just need some time to cool off. I left the break room without responding. There was no point trying to explain to people who'd never experienced this kind of manipulation. They couldn't understand. Thursday morning, my phone rang from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Jean? A woman's voice, frantic and crying. It's Natalie. Natalie, my best friend since college. I'd been so caught up in the family drama, I hadn't talked to her in over a week. Nat, what's wrong? What did you do? She was sobbing. What did you do to your sister? What? I didn't do anything to her. She's the one. She showed up at my house yesterday with some kind of legal document. She's filing for emergency custody of Sophie. My blood went cold. Sophie was Natalie's 6-year-old daughter. I was Sophie's godmother, named as guardian in Natalie's will in case anything happened to Nat and her husband. She can't do that, that's insane. She's saying you're an unfit godmother, that you have a documented pattern of family abandonment and financial abuse. She's saying that I'm an unfit mother for choosing you as Sophie's guardian. Jean, I have to go to court next week. This couldn't be happening. This couldn't be real. Natalie, I'll fix this, I promise. How? Her voice went high and sharp. My lawyer says this could actually affect my custody. They're questioning my judgment. She's saying you're dangerous and unstable and I knowingly put my daughter in your care. Listen to me. Lauren is lying. About everything. I can prove it. You better prove it fast because I'm not losing my daughter over this. She hung up. I sat at my desk, staring at nothing. Lauren was going after my best friend's child. She was trying to hurt everyone I cared about. My hands were shaking so badly, I could barely hold my phone. That afternoon, I noticed the social media posts. Lauren and Derek were in Hawaii. Despite everything. Despite the sob story about being broke. Despite claiming they had no money, Lauren posted a photo from the beach, her and Derek with drinks, sunset in the background. The caption read, "Sometimes you have to take care of yourself first. Family will understand." People in the comments asked about the kids. "They're with Derek's mom," Lauren replied. She actually cares about family. Derek's mom, Susan, who Lauren had told me was a terrible person, who they'd cut out of their lives years ago because she was toxic and controlling. But suddenly she was trustworthy enough to watch the kids while they went to Hawaii. I took screenshots of everything. Friday morning, I realized I needed help, real help. This was beyond me now. I made an appointment with a lawyer for Monday morning. Then I went through my finances carefully. Documented every payment I'd ever made to my family. Every contribution, every emergency fund transfer, the credit card charges. All of it. When I was done, the total was even worse than I'd thought. $178,000 over 4 years. Not 153, 178. Lauren had been charging things to my credit card I'd never even noticed. Groceries, gas, shopping trips. For 3 years. My weekend was spent building a case file. Every text message, every email, every bank statement. I organized everything chronologically in a binder. Monday morning, I met with Marcus Thompson, the attorney. He was in his 50s, gray at the temples, calm and professional. I laid it all out for him. He listened, taking notes occasionally. When I finished, he sat back in his chair. "This is textbook financial abuse. They've been exploiting you systematically for years. You could potentially sue for return of funds, though I'll be honest, it's complicated because you gave the money willingly. I want them to stop. The social media harassment, the workplace incidents, this custody thing with my friend's daughter. I'll draft cease and desist letters immediately. We can pursue harassment charges and possibly a restraining order. The custody claim is frivolous, but it'll require legal fees for your friend to fight. We might be able to get Lauren sanctioned for filing a bad faith claim. How much will this cost? $5,000 retainer to start. Could be more depending on how they respond." I wrote the check without hesitation. It was worth every penny to make this stop. By Tuesday afternoon, Lauren had received the cease and desist letter. She responded by filing a lawsuit. Marcus called me with the news. "They're suing you for financial elder abuse. They claim you isolated your mother, made her financially dependent on you, then abandoned her in retaliation for a minor family disagreement." I couldn't breathe. That's completely backwards. I know, but they have an affidavit from your mother. She claims you pressured her into letting you pay her mortgage, that you used the money to control her, that when she stood up for herself, you cut her off vindictively. They're seeking compensatory damages and asking the court to order you to resume payments. She asked me to help. She called me crying 4 years ago saying she was going to lose the house. Do you have that documented? Text messages, emails, anything written? I thought back. It had all been phone calls, face-to-face conversations, nothing in writing. No, it was all verbal. Marcus nodded slowly. That makes it harder to prove, but we'll fight this. Start documenting everything from now on. Every interaction, every conversation. Record them if you're in a one-party consent state. I am. Good. Use it. That evening, I drove home exhausted, walked to my car in the parking garage and found all 4 tires slashed again. This time, the message keyed into my hood. Family killer. Security had footage again. Derek again. He wasn't even trying to hide it anymore. I filed another police report. The officer looked sympathetic this time. "You really need that restraining order. My lawyer's working on it. $3,100 in damages this time. More extensive." Wednesday morning, I got called into Patricia's office. HR was there again. And the head of our legal department. My heart sank before anyone said a word. "Jean, we've received a formal complaint filed with the State Professional Ethics Board." Patricia looked genuinely sorry. "Someone has alleged that you've been falsifying expense reports and embezzling company funds." The room spun. "That's impossible. I've never done anything like that. We're required to investigate any formal ethics complaint. You're being placed on administrative leave, effective immediately. It's paid leave, but you can't come into the office or access company systems until the investigation is complete. Who filed the complaint? It was anonymous. I knew. Of course I knew. Lauren or Derek had found my professional information somehow and filed false claims. This is retaliation, I said. I'm being harassed by my family. My lawyer is handling it. We understand, but our hands are tied. The ethics board requires a full investigation. It could take weeks. I packed up my desk in a daze. Coworkers watched me leave. I could see the questions in their eyes, the doubt. Even Amanda looked at me like I was a stranger. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Job in jeopardy. Legal fees mounting. Family trying to destroy me from every angle. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Against every instinct, I answered. Jean? A woman's voice. Older. It's your Aunt Carol. From Florida. Aunt Carol. Mom's sister. I hadn't talked to her in years. Hi. I just heard what's happening. Your mother called me. Told me her version of events? I'm sure she did. Honey, I need you to know something. This isn't the first time. I sat up. What? Lauren. She did this exact same thing to your cousin Andrew in Denver 5 years ago, moved in with him and his wife, nearly destroyed their marriage, bled them dry financially. When they finally said no, she turned the whole family against them with lies. They ended up having to move to get away from her. My heart was pounding. Why didn't anyone tell me? Your mother was embarrassed. She made everyone promise not to talk about it. But Jean, you need to protect yourself. Lauren has a pattern. She finds someone to latch onto. She manipulates them, exploits them, and when they finally break free, she destroys them. She's done this multiple times. What do I do? Document everything. Find other people she's hurt. Prove the pattern. And honey, don't give in. She'll promise to change. She'll cry and apologize and swear it'll be different. It won't be. It never is. Carol gave me Andrew's phone number. Call him. He has evidence that might help you. After we hung up, I felt something I hadn't felt in days. Hope. Small, fragile, but real. Thursday morning brought another disaster. My apartment building manager called. There had been multiple complaints from neighbors. They claimed I'd been making excessive noise late at night, harassing people in the hallways, acting erratically. I haven't done any of that, I said. I'm just relaying what we've received. 3 separate complaints in the past week. I need to warn you that if this continues, we may not renew your lease when it comes up. My lease was up in 4 months. I knew what had happened. Derek had been coming to my building, causing trouble, making it look like me, maybe bribing neighbors, maybe just lying. Everything was falling apart. Friday evening, I called Andrew in Denver. My hands were shaking as I dialed. Hello? Andrew? This is Jean, your cousin. Aunt Carol gave me your number. Jean. Yeah, she told me you might call. I'm sorry about what you're going through. Carol said Lauren did something similar to you? Similar? He laughed bitterly. Try identical. She moved in with us 6 years ago. Said she just needed a few months to get back on her feet. Those few months turned into 18. She manipulated my wife, turned our kids against us by playing fun aunt while making us look like the bad guys. She spent our money like water. And when we finally kicked her out, she told everyone we'd abused her. She filed false CPS reports. She nearly cost me my job with her lies. How did you stop her? We moved, packed up and left town, started over in a different state. It was the only way. We tried fighting back, but Jean, she's relentless. She never stops, never gives up. I can't just move. I have a career here, a life, friends. Then you need to go on the offensive. We were too passive, too defensive. Document everything. Find everyone she's hurt. Prove the pattern. Expose her before she can destroy you completely. We talked for 3 hours. Andrew sent me files. Screenshots of Lauren's manipulative texts from 6 years ago. Financial records showing how much she'd stolen from them. Even a psychological evaluation he'd had done during a custody battle Lauren tried to start with CPS. It was all there, the same pattern, the same tactics, the same lies. Over the weekend, I built a comprehensive case file. I found Derek's mother, Susan, through public records, called her Sunday afternoon. Hello? Susan? My name is Jean. I'm Derek's sister-in-law, Lauren's sister. Silence. Then, what do you want? I know you haven't seen Derek or the kids in 2 years. I know Lauren convinced him to cut you off. She told him I was toxic, that I was trying to control their lives. All I did was refuse to give them $50,000 for a down payment on a house they couldn't afford. Would you be willing to provide a statement about what happened? Absolutely. That woman destroyed my relationship with my son. I haven't seen my grandchildren in 2 years. 2 years. Susan sent me a detailed written statement. Lauren had demanded money. When Susan refused, Lauren convinced Derek his mother was abusive and controlling. She cut off all contact. Posted on social media about cutting out toxic family members. Made Susan look like a monster. The pattern was clear, undeniable. I contacted the credit card company and requested detailed statements for the past 3 years. When they arrived, I spent hours going through every charge. $43,000. That's what Lauren had charged to my card over 3 years. Not just the Hawaii trip. Thousands and thousands in shopping, dining, entertainment, all while crying poverty. I found the private school the kids supposedly attended. Called the administration office Monday morning. Yes, Tyler, Madison, and Emma Westbrook were enrolled here, the woman said. But they were withdrawn 8 months ago. 8 months ago. But I'd been sending $1,250 a month for tuition since then, for kids who weren't even enrolled. Lauren had pocketed almost $10,000 meant for her children's education. By Monday afternoon, I had a file 2 inches thick. Evidence of systematic fraud. Multiple victims. A clear pattern of manipulation and financial exploitation. Marcus reviewed everything. This is excellent. This establishes pattern and intent. We can use this. What about the lawsuit they filed against me? We'll file a counterclaim. Fraud, harassment, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress. We go after them hard. What about Natalie, the custody thing? I've already contacted her attorney. We're filing to have Lauren sanctioned for filing a frivolous claim. It won't stick, but it'll cost them legal fees, and it goes on record. That night, I allowed myself to feel hopeful. I had evidence. I had witnesses. I had a pattern documented across multiple people, multiple states, multiple years. Tuesday morning, I was making breakfast when someone pounded on my door. Through the peephole, I saw police uniforms. My blood went cold. I opened the door. Jean Martinez? Yes? You're under arrest for terroristic threats and harassment. What? No, I haven't threatened anyone. They showed me a police report. Filed by Lauren yesterday. She claimed I'd been sending her death threats via text, calling from blocked numbers hundreds of times. That I'd shown up at her house with a weapon. I haven't done any of that. I have proof. I can show you. You can explain that at the station. Turn around, please. They handcuffed me. Right there in my doorway. Neighbors came out to watch. Mrs. Chen from across the hall. The young couple from next door. All of them staring as I was led away in handcuffs. At the police station, they fingerprinted me, photographed me, put me in a holding cell that smelled like urine and despair. I got one phone call. I called Marcus. They arrested me. Lauren filed a false police report. Don't say anything to anyone. I'll be there in 30 minutes. It took 4 hours, but Marcus got me out on bail. $3,000. I paid it and walked out into the night feeling numb. This is retaliation, Marcus said as we walked to his car. Your phone records will prove you never made those calls. There's no evidence of you showing up at her house. But Jean, the damage is done. You have an arrest record now. My ethics hearing is in 3 days. I know. We'll provide evidence that this is a false report, but we can't erase the arrest itself. Wednesday morning my phone rang. Patricia. Jean, I just saw the arrest report. I'm so sorry, but the company can't keep you on staff with pending criminal charges. You're terminated, effective immediately. But I didn't do anything. It's a false report. I believe you. I really do. But corporate has policies. My hands are tied. I'm sorry. She hung up. I'd lost my job. Sitting in my apartment that morning, unemployed, facing criminal charges, buried in legal fees, I felt something break inside me. But it wasn't what Lauren thought would break. It wasn't my will. It was my last shred of mercy. I was done being defensive, done being the victim. Time to fight back. By Thursday morning, I'd made a decision. No more reacting. No more playing defense. Time to attack. I started with a loan. A letter had arrived Wednesday from a debt collection agency. They claimed I owed $30,000 on a personal loan taken out 8 months ago from a predatory lender I'd never heard of. I called them immediately. I never took out this loan. Ma'am, we have your signed application. Send it to me, right now. They emailed it within the hour. I opened the attachment with trembling hands. There was my signature, or rather, a very good forgery of my signature. I compared it to documents I knew I'd signed. My lease, my tax returns, my employment contract. The loan signature was close, very close, but not perfect. The loop on the J was too round. The angle of the M was slightly off. I called Marcus. Someone forged my signature on a loan application. Can you prove it? I can get a handwriting expert. Do it, today. I hired a forensic document examiner for $800. She confirmed it within hours. Definite forgery. But who took out the loan? I dug deeper into the paperwork. The loan was deposited into an account at a bank I'd never used. Account opened 8 months ago in my name. I called the bank. After an hour of arguing and providing identification, they finally gave me access to the account records. The loan, $30,000, had been deposited. Then, within a week, it had been transferred out in 3 increments to another account, an account belonging to Derek Westbrook. Lauren and Derek had opened a bank account in my name, forged my signature on a loan application, stolen $30,000, and left me holding the debt. This is identity theft, Marcus said when I showed him the evidence. Federal crime. This is FBI territory. Can we use this? Absolutely. This changes everything. But I kept digging because I knew there had to be more. I called Mom's mortgage company again. This time I asked for the complete file. Every document, every communication, everything. They sent it over. Buried in the paperwork from 3 weeks ago, I found it. A quitclaim deed, transferring half ownership of the house from Barbara Martinez to Lauren Westbrook. Mom had signed over half the house to Lauren. There was a note in the file from the mortgage company. Per customer request to add daughter as protection against foreclosure. Protection, right. I kept reading. 2 days after the quitclaim deed, there was an application for a reverse mortgage, using Lauren's new partial ownership, for $100,000. They were going to take out a reverse mortgage, pocket the money, stop paying the regular mortgage, let the house go into foreclosure, and blame me for all of it. The reverse mortgage hadn't been approved yet. The application was still pending. I had stumbled onto a systematic, planned financial fraud scheme, and I was the scapegoat. I took everything to the police. Not the officers who'd arrested me, but to a detective. Detective Hughes. She was in her 40s, sharp-eyed, no nonsense. Walk me through this, she said. I laid it all out. The forged loan. The fake bank account. The identity theft. The quitclaim deed. The reverse mortgage scheme. All of it. Detective Hughes went through every document carefully. This is serious. These are major fraud charges. What about the charges against me, the terroristic threats? Let me look into that. If this is all connected, if she filed false reports to intimidate you while continuing the fraud, that's witness intimidation on top of everything else. Can you help me? I can investigate. Give me 48 hours. Friday morning, Detective Hughes called. I've reviewed your phone records. You never made those calls, she claimed. I've checked surveillance footage from her neighborhood. You never showed up at her house. The report she filed is demonstrably false. So the charges against me will be dropped? I'm recommending that to the prosecutor, yes. And Jean? I'm going to arrest your sister. Today. Hope flared in my chest, bright and sharp. But Marcus warned me, don't confront them. Let the police handle it. I couldn't help myself. I needed to see Lauren's face when it all came crashing down. Marcus tried to talk me out of it. So did Detective Hughes, but I insisted. They finally agreed I could be there when they served the papers and made the arrest, as long as I stayed back and let them handle it. Friday afternoon, we drove to Mom's house. Me, Marcus, Detective Hughes, and a uniformed officer. A process server followed in a separate car. I could see Lauren's car in the driveway, Derek's truck too. They were both home. My heart pounded as we walked up to the door. I knocked. Lauren opened it, saw me. Her face went white, then red with fury. You're not welcome here. I'm not here for a visit. The process server stepped forward. Lauren Westbrook? Who's asking? He handed her a thick envelope. You're being served with a lawsuit for fraud, identity theft, forgery, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and harassment. You're also being served with a restraining order. Lauren's hands shook as she took the papers. Detective Hughes stepped forward, showing her badge. Lauren Westbrook, you're under arrest for identity theft, bank fraud, filing a false police report, and conspiracy to commit fraud. What? No, this is insane. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Lauren lunged at me, her face twisted with rage. You bitch! You ruined everything! I'll destroy you! I'll destroy everything you care about! Marcus pulled me back. The uniformed officer grabbed Lauren's arms, restraining her. But not before she got close enough to scratch my face, her nails raking across my cheek, drawing blood. That's assault, Detective Hughes said calmly, pulling out handcuffs. Add that to the charges. Mom appeared in the doorway. What's happening? Jean, what did you do? What did I do? I touched my bleeding cheek. Mom, she forged my signature on a $30,000 loan. She opened a bank account in my name. She's been committing fraud for months, maybe years. Detective Hughes handed Mom some of the documents. Bank statements, the forged loan application, the fake account. Mom's face crumpled as she read. No, Lauren wouldn't. She said Jean was trying to steal my house. She said the quitclaim deed was to protect me. She was going to take out a reverse mortgage, steal $100,000, and let your house go into foreclosure. I said flatly. You would have lost everything, and she would have blamed me. Mom sank down onto the porch steps. Lauren was still screaming as they put her in handcuffs. This is bullshit. You can't prove anything. I'll sue you. I'll ruin you. I'll make you pay. Derek's truck came screeching into the driveway. He saw the police car, his wife in handcuffs, and immediately threw the truck into reverse, speeding away. Covered, Marcus muttered. Detective Hughes called it in. We'll pick him up later. He's an accessory. They put Lauren in the back of the patrol car. She was still screaming, her face red and contorted. You're dead to me, all of you. I hope you rot. The car drove away. Silence settled over the yard. Mom sat on the steps, crying quietly. Marcus stood beside me, professional and calm. The process server got back in his car and left. I looked at Mom, really looked at her. She looked old suddenly, shrunken. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't know. She told me you were trying to control me, that you were manipulating me. I believed her. You laughed when she slapped me. I know. Fresh tears. I was wrong. I don't expect you to forgive me. What happens now? I asked, my voice hollow. Now? Mom looked up at me. I don't know. The house is in foreclosure. I have no money. Lauren was supposed to help me figure it out. Lauren was going to steal from you and let you lose everything. I know that now. I felt nothing. No sympathy, no anger, just emptiness. You need to sell the house. Downsize. Get a job. Figure out your own life. But I don't know how. That's not my problem anymore. I turned and walked back to Marcus's car. Behind me, I heard Mom crying harder. Marcus drove me home in silence. As we pulled up to my building, he said, You did the right thing. Then why do I feel terrible? Because you're a good person. Good people feel bad even when they're doing the right thing. Inside my apartment, I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror. The scratch on my face was still bleeding slightly. It would scar? Good, let it scar. Let me remember this. My phone started ringing. Unknown numbers. I ignored them all, but the voicemails piled up. I listened to one from Derek. You bitch, you put my wife in jail, you destroyed my family. I'm going to make you pay. You hear me? I'm going to make you pay. I saved it. Sent it to Detective Hughes and Marcus. Evidence. Everything was evidence now. The next 3 months were a blur of court dates, depositions, and legal proceedings. Lauren was charged with identity theft, bank fraud, filing false police reports, and conspiracy. The prosecutor added on forgery and attempted grand theft when they uncovered the reverse mortgage scheme. She tried to plead not guilty. Her lawyer argued that I had given her permission for everything, that it was a family financial arrangement gone wrong, that I was retaliating for a personal dispute. Then Detective Hughes presented the evidence: the forged signature, the bank account I never opened, the fake loan application, my phone records proving I never made the threatening calls, security footage proving I never showed up at her house with a weapon. The case fell apart fast. Lauren took a plea deal. Guilty to reduced charges. 3 years probation. Restitution of $73,000. The total of the fraudulent loan plus the unauthorized credit card charges. Community service. Mandatory financial counseling. She'd be paying me back for years. Derek was charged as an accessory for accepting the stolen loan money. He pleaded guilty too. 2 years probation. Joint restitution with Lauren. End of 25-2A. The Ethics Board investigation cleared me completely. The complaint had been filed by Derek from a library computer. Anonymous, but traceable. Patricia called. The company wants to offer you your position back. With a raise. And a formal apology. I thought about it for 2 days. Then I accepted. Not because I needed them, but because I'd earned that job. I wasn't going to let Lauren take that from me too. Natalie's custody case was dismissed immediately after Lauren's arrest. The judge sanctioned Lauren for filing a frivolous and bad faith claim. Natalie and I were okay, but our friendship had a crack in it now, a tiny fissure of doubt and stress that might never fully heal. Mom sold the house. She'd held on to it for weeks after Lauren's arrest, hoping somehow I'd change my mind and help her keep it. I didn't. She got $270,000 from the sale after paying off the mortgage and real estate fees. She bought a small 2-bedroom condo for $150,000 and banked the rest. Then she got a job, part-time at first, at a library. Then full-time when she realized she actually liked working. Liked having something to do, liked the independence. We talked sometimes. Awkward, surface-level conversations. She'd call once a month or so, ask how I was doing, tell me about her book club. She never apologized, not really. Just that one time on the porch, she'd say things like, I wish things had gone differently, or I hope we can move past this someday. But she never said I was wrong to enable Lauren or I was wrong to laugh when she hurt you. So we stayed distant, polite, like acquaintances instead of mother and daughter. Lauren tried to contact me a few times. Different phone numbers, new social media accounts, each time with the same message. She needed help. She was sorry. Things were hard. I blocked her every time. Saved the messages for my lawyer in case she violated the restraining order. Derek and Lauren divorced 8 months after her arrest. He claimed she'd manipulated him too, that he was also a victim. His lawyer tried to paint him as someone under Lauren's influence. It didn't work. He'd been a willing participant. He'd slashed my tires. He'd accepted stolen money. He'd threatened me. The kids, Tyler, Madison, and Emma, ended up with Derek's mother, Susan. Derek saw them on weekends, but Susan got primary custody when it became clear neither parent could provide stable care. I sent Susan money once, $5,000, anonymously through a lawyer, just to help with the kids. They didn't deserve to suffer for their parents' choices. Susan figured out it was me somehow. She sent a thank you card. Simple, heartfelt. She didn't ask for more, just thanked me for thinking of the children. I never sent more money. Not because I didn't care, but because I knew where that road led. I'd been down it before. 6 months after Lauren's arrest, I was sitting in my apartment on a Saturday night when my doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw a delivery person with flowers. I opened the door cautiously. Jeanne Martinez? Yes, these are for you. Beautiful flowers. Roses, lilies, some others I didn't recognize. I took them inside and read the card. I'm so sorry. Please give me another chance. I've changed. I'm in therapy. I need my family. Please. Lauren. I threw the flowers in the trash, blocked another number. 2 weeks later, she tried again. This time showing up at my office building. Security stopped her before she got inside. She stood outside screaming about family and forgiveness. Until the police came. She was arrested for violating the restraining order. Spent 3 days in jail. After that, she stopped trying. A year after everything fell apart, I went to therapy. Not because of Lauren, but because I realized I had patterns too. Patterns of putting everyone else first. Of believing I owed people just because we shared blood. Of confusing love with obligation. My therapist, Dr. Sarah, helped me see things clearly. You were trained from childhood to believe your needs don't matter, she said during one session. Your mother favored your sister. You learned that to get approval, you had to give. And give. And give. I knew they were using me. Why did I keep doing it? Because you hoped that if you gave enough, they'd finally love you the way you needed to be loved. But Jean, people like your sister don't love that way. They can't. They see people as resources, not as humans. That hit hard. I cried a lot in therapy. Grieved the family I'd wanted but never had. Grieved the years I'd wasted trying to earn love that was never available. But I also started building a real life. Not one defined by what I could give people, but by what I wanted for myself. I traveled. Paris first, then Italy, then Japan. Places I'd always wanted to go but never could, because my money was always going to someone else's needs. I dated. Nothing serious at first, but then I met Ryan. He was a software engineer, quiet and kind. When I told him about my family, he didn't judge. He didn't tell me I should reconcile. He just said, that must have taken a lot of courage to walk away. It did. It still does some days. Ryan and I took things slow. He'd been through his own family trauma, different from mine but still painful. We understood each other. A year and a half after Lauren's arrest, I got promoted to director. My income jumped to $170,000 a year, more money than I'd ever made. And it was all mine, every dollar. Mine to save, invest, spend however I wanted. I bought myself a new car. Nothing fancy, just reliable and nice. The first car I'd bought for myself in a decade that wasn't the cheapest option because I was sending thousands to my family every month. I started volunteering at a nonprofit that helps people escape financial abuse. Mostly women trapped in situations where family members or partners exploited their money and kindness. I told them my story. All of it. The years of giving, the slap, the fraud, the arrest, the fight back. Some of them listened with tears in their eyes. Some weren't ready to hear it. I understood. I hadn't been ready for years either. But for the ones who were ready, I told them the truth. You are not responsible for other people's failures. You are not a bank. You are not a safety net. You are a human being who deserves respect and boundaries. Family should add to your life, not subtract from it. And when they take and demand more, when they hurt you and expect you to smile, that's when you walk away. 2 years after Lauren's arrest, I ran into Tyler at a coffee shop. He was 10 now, taller, his face losing its baby roundness. He was with Susan. They didn't see me at first. I watched them for a moment. Tyler was laughing at something on his phone. Susan was smiling at him with such obvious love it made my chest ache. He looked happy, healthy, cared for. They got their coffee and left. I sat there for a long time after, thinking about the kids, wondering if they remembered me. wondering what Lauren had told them about why I'd disappeared from their lives. Probably that I was selfish, cruel, that I'd abandoned them. Maybe someday they'd understand, maybe not. Either way, they were safe. That's what mattered. Ryan and I got engaged that spring. Small proposal, just us at the beach at sunset. Perfect. We planned a small wedding. Just close friends, not family. I didn't invite Mom. Didn't tell her about the engagement at all. She found out through Aunt Carol and called me, hurt. I'm your mother. I should be at your wedding. Mom, we're keeping it very small. But I'm your mother, she repeated, as if that settled everything. I know, and I've made my decision. She cried, told me I was being cruel, that I was punishing her for Lauren's mistakes. Maybe I was. Or maybe I just didn't want someone at my wedding who'd laughed when I was assaulted, who'd enabled my abuser for years, who'd never truly apologized or taken responsibility. We had the wedding in June, 20 people, my closest friends. Natalie was my maid of honor. Our friendship had healed mostly, the crack filled in with time and trust. Ryan's parents were there, kind people who welcomed me into their family without hesitation or conditions. It was perfect, small and perfect in mine. No drama, no demands, no one expecting me to fund their lives or set myself on fire to keep them warm. Just love, real love, the kind that gives instead of takes. 3 years after the arrest, I was at the grocery store when I saw her. Lauren. She was in the produce section, looking thin and tired. Her clothes were worn, her hair needed cutting. She saw me at the same moment. Our eyes met across the apples and oranges. For a second, neither of us moved. Then she walked over. I tensed, ready to run if I needed to. Jean. Her voice was quiet, different from how I remembered. Lauren, I know I'm not supposed to contact you. The restraining order expired last month, but I know you don't want to hear from me. I said nothing. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, really sorry, for everything. You were right about me, about all of it. I was toxic, manipulative. I destroyed everyone who tried to help me. I stared at her, waiting for the other shoe to drop, the request for money, the sob story. It didn't come. I'm in therapy now, real therapy, and I'm working on myself. I know I can never fix what I did to you. I just wanted you to know that I know it was wrong. Okay. Are you happy? The question surprised me. Yes, I am. She nodded slowly. Good. You deserve to be happy. I'm sorry it took me destroying your life for me to figure out how messed up I was. She walked away, didn't ask for anything, didn't try to hug me or reconnect, just apologized and left. I stood there in the produce section for 5 minutes, trying to process what had happened. Later, I told Ryan about it. Do you think she's really changed? He asked. I don't know, maybe, but it doesn't matter. Why not? Because even if she has changed, even if she's genuinely sorry, I don't have to let her back into my life. Change doesn't erase the past. It doesn't mean I owe her forgiveness or a relationship. That's very healthy of you, Ryan said with a smile. Years of therapy, I replied. I never saw Lauren again after that. Heard through Aunt Carol that she'd moved to Oregon, was working at a restaurant, living in a small apartment alone. Aunt Carol seemed to think I should feel sorry for her. I didn't. I felt nothing. That was the real freedom. Not hating her, but not caring either. She was just someone I used to know. Someone who'd hurt me badly. Someone I'd survived. Nothing more. Mom tried one more time to reconcile, about 4 years after everything fell apart. She called and asked if we could meet for coffee. I almost said no, but something made me say yes. We met at a cafe halfway between our homes. Neutral territory. She looked older, grayer. She'd gained some weight, looked healthier than I remembered. Thank you for meeting me, she said. What do you want, Mom? I wanted to apologize. Really apologize. Not just for laughing when Lauren hurt you, but for everything. For always choosing her over you. For making you feel like your needs didn't matter. For letting her destroy you because it was easier than standing up to her. I blinked, surprised. I've been in therapy too, Mom continued. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I wanted you to know that I understand now, what I did to you, how wrong it was. Why are you telling me this now? Because I was wrong, and because I miss my daughter. I miss you. And I understand if you can't forgive me. I understand if you never want to see me again, but I needed to say it anyway. We talked for 2 hours, really talked. She told me about her therapy, about the things she'd learned about herself, about how she'd enabled Lauren because it was easier than dealing with Lauren's rage. She was always difficult, Mom said, even as a little girl. If she didn't get her way, she'd scream and break things and make everyone miserable. It was easier to just give her what she wanted. And you were always so easy, so understanding. I took advantage of that. You did. I know, and I'm sorry. I didn't forgive her that day. Forgiveness isn't something you can just hand over because someone apologizes, even if the apology is genuine. But we stayed in touch after that. Slow, careful contact. Coffee once a month. Phone calls every couple weeks. Building something new? Not the relationship we'd had, but maybe something healthier. Maybe. 5 years after the slap, Ryan and I bought a house. 3 bedrooms, nice yard, good neighborhood. We filled it with furniture we chose together. Art we loved. Plants that we managed to keep alive most of the time. We adopted a dog, a rescue named Charlie, who was scared of everything at first, but slowly learned to trust us. I got promoted again, director of operations. Big title, bigger salary. I was making more than I'd ever imagined. And every dollar was mine. I saved. I invested. I planned for the future. I donated to causes I cared about. I helped friends when they needed it, not because I felt obligated, but because I wanted to. I took control of my money, and in doing so, I took control of my life. The financial abuse support group I'd been volunteering with asked me to speak at a conference. I was terrified, but I did it. Stood in front of 200 people and told my story. The response was overwhelming. Dozens of people came up after, crying, thanking me, telling me their own stories. I realized I wasn't alone. Thousands of people were trapped in the same patterns I'd been trapped in, giving and giving until there was nothing left. I started speaking more often, writing about it, helping people see the patterns and break free. It gave me purpose. Turned my pain into something useful. 6 years after everything fell apart, I was truly happy. Not the fake happiness I'd pretended to have before, when I was buried under obligation and resentment. Real happiness. Deep and genuine and hard-won. 7 years after the slap, I was cleaning out old files when I found the binder. The one I'd made documenting everything Lauren had done. Bank statements, screenshots, police reports, court documents, evidence of the worst year of my life. I sat on the floor of my home office, Ryan at work, Charlie snoring beside me, and I went through it page by page. All that pain, all that fear, all those nights lying awake wondering if I'd lose everything. And I'd survived. More than survived. I'd won. Not in a dramatic, movie ending kind of way, but in the slow, hard, daily choice to choose myself. To set boundaries, to say no, to walk away. I'd rebuilt my life from the ground up. And the life I'd built was so much better than the one I'd had before. I threw the binder away, didn't need it anymore. The evidence was submitted years ago. The legal battles were over. Lauren was paying restitution monthly, would be for years, but I'd moved on. That night, Ryan and I sat on our back porch, watching Charlie chase fireflies in the yard. "Do you ever regret it?" Ryan asked. "Cutting them off?" "No, not even a little bit. Not even your mom? You talk to her now. We have something now. Small, careful, but real. But I don't regret the years of silence. I needed them. She needed them. It forced both of us to grow." What about Lauren? I thought about the woman I'd seen in the grocery store years ago. Thin and tired and apologetic. I hope she's okay. I hope she really did change. But I don't need to know. She's not my responsibility anymore. And the kids? They're happy with Susan. I saw a photo Aunt Carol sent. They're doing well. Tyler's on the honor roll. Madison's in gymnastics. Emma just lost her first tooth. I'd sent them birthday cards over the years, through Susan. Small amounts of money, never enough to create obligation. Just enough to say I hadn't forgotten them. Susan had sent a thank you card back each time, never asking for more. Just acknowledging the gesture. That was healthy. That was how family should work. Later that night, lying in bed beside Ryan, I thought about everything I'd learned. The hardest lessons are these. You teach people how to treat you. For years, I taught my family that I was a doormat, that they could take and I'd keep giving. When I finally changed that lesson, they couldn't handle it. Blood doesn't mean obligation. Family is supposed to be the people who love you, support you, add to your life. When family only subtracts, when they only take, they're not really family. They're just people who happen to share your DNA. Walking away isn't giving up. Sometimes it's surviving. I tried for years to fix things, to be enough, to earn their love and respect. It was never going to happen. Walking away wasn't failure, it was wisdom. Boundaries aren't cruel, they're necessary. Saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you healthy. I had to learn that saying no to their demands meant saying yes to myself. You can't save people who don't want to be saved. Lauren didn't want help. She wanted an ATM. Mom didn't want a daughter. She wanted peace, even if it meant sacrificing me to keep Lauren happy. I couldn't fix that. I could only save myself. Forgiveness isn't required. Everyone told me I should forgive, that it would set me free. But you know what actually set me free? Letting go. I don't hate Lauren. I don't hate Mom. But I don't have to forgive them either. I can just move on. The guilt fades. For a long time, I felt guilty. Every day. Guilty for saying no. Guilty for the foreclosure. Guilty for Lauren's arrest. Guilty for not being there for the kids. But slowly, over years, the guilt faded, because I realized none of it was my fault. Their choices were their responsibility. Your needs matter. This was the hardest one. I'd spent my whole life believing that my needs were less important than everyone else's. That if I had money, I should share it. That if I had time, I should give it. That my comfort, my happiness, my peace of mind were luxuries I couldn't afford. I was wrong. My needs mattered just as much as anyone else's. Years of therapy taught me all of this. Years of hard work, of unlearning toxic patterns, of building healthy boundaries. It wasn't easy. It's still not easy some days. But it was worth it. I'm not the same person I was 7 years ago, standing in Mom's kitchen with my face burning from my sister's slap. That woman was lost, exhausted, resentful, trapped. I'm someone new now, someone stronger, someone who knows her worth and won't accept less than she deserves. Someone who chose herself. And that choice saved my life. If you're reading this, if you're listening to this story, and you see yourself in it, I want you to know something. You're not selfish for having boundaries. You're not cruel for saying no. You're not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Family should lift you up, not tear you down. If your family is toxic, if they're bleeding you dry financially or emotionally or both, you have permission to walk away. You have permission to save yourself. It will be hard. People will judge you. They'll call you selfish, cruel, heartless. They'll tell you that family is everything, that you should forgive, that you should try harder. But you know what? Those people aren't living your life. They're not facing your struggles. They don't get a vote. Only you know what you need to survive. Only you can decide when enough is enough. And if that moment comes, if you reach your breaking point, I want you to know that it's okay to walk away. It's okay to choose yourself. It's okay to say no. On the other side of that choice is freedom, peace, a life that's truly yours. It won't be perfect. I still have hard days. I still sometimes wonder if I should have tried harder, done more, been better. But then I look at the life I've built, the home I love, the husband who respects me, the career I've earned, the friendships that are genuine, the peace that comes from not being bled dry every month. And I know I made the right choice. 7 years ago, my sister slapped me and demanded I babysit her kids while she went to Hawaii. 7 years ago, my mom laughed at my pain. 7 years ago, I finally said no. Best decision I ever made. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to set boundaries with family members who were taking advantage of you? How did you handle it? What was the hardest part? I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else who's going through the same thing. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button. It helps more people find these stories and realize they're not alone. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I share stories like this every week, stories about overcoming hardship, setting boundaries, and choosing yourself. And finally, if you know someone who needs to hear this, someone who's trapped in a similar situation, please share this video with them. Sometimes we all need a reminder that it's okay to walk away, that our needs matter, that we deserve respect and kindness, even from family. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I know it was long, and I appreciate you sticking with me through all of it. I hope it helped you in some way. I hope it gave you permission to put yourself first, or strength to set a boundary you've been avoiding, or just comfort in knowing you're not alone. Take care of yourselves, choose yourself, set boundaries, and remember that you deserve a life that brings you joy, not just obligation. Until next time, be kind to yourself. You're worth it.